Good evening and welcome to Ben and Matt Saturday Night Live on Off United WFC, live on YouTube and the Twitter page. Matt, how are we, my friend?
Yeah, not too bad, pal. Just nice chilled one today. Football's back in it, so
I just know it.
So not a bad weekend so far, pal.
Absolutely. We smashed the Leeds all over Old Trafford, and then we go and win as well straight after that for the women's team. Absolutely beautiful. And Kirsty Hansen yet again bagging a goal and another assist. So I'm happy. Evening, Robert. How are you, my friend? Nice to see you here bright and early for once. On time, yeah, that's it, mate. You know the score. I know we're going to do a match reaction tomorrow. No one's actually seen the game because I can't believe wasn't even live on MUTV. What the hell is going on? Perfect chance to show it live after United's great win. Everybody be in a buoyant mood, wanted to watch another United team play, and MUTV have shithoused out of it yet again. It's a bit of a disappointment, isn't it, Matt?
Listen, I criticise this every week. I did a show on it last week about closed doors and all this. And listen, some people blame Villa, some people blame United. I just blame United. And that's not on purpose. I genuinely know that with who did we play last week? Liverpool it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, Liverpool, mate, yeah.
There was chances to get it done. It could have been staged at the Cliff. They could have used the football pitch that's behind LSV, and they chose not to. And I just think that's a cop-out. So does it surprise me if we've not shown Villa? No. Listen, Villa have got fans in next week, so we definitely know it's not Villa. But yeah, listen, what can I say? To not stream it and to say, well, we'll show you a 2-minute highlights. I mean, what can I learn from that? What can you get from that? Not a lot. So listen, it's not just us. It just needs to improve. Leicester have done it. They played Sheffield today. They decided to mug everybody off. Bristol City have done it, although they're letting in fans tomorrow. Everton have been funny about it. Man City. So listen, we're not alone, but it's just poor. It really is. We talk about growing the game, and we got all these idiots coming on saying, "Oh, I'm high up at the FA and I'm this and that," but they don't care. They really don't. But anyway, that's my 2 P's worth.
Absolutely. But it's good that we've got a 2-0 win. Obviously, as I said, we'll get more into the match reaction show on Monday. But, at least that's happy days, mate. We've got 2 great results today. And I suppose I better get on to the pre-season. Anyway, at least there's one match we could go to, which is good news. It does involve travelling up a bit further up north to the old Scotland, mate. But that's something to really, really look forward to, that.
Yeah, I'm buzzing. I heard about that actually about a couple of months ago, and then I heard that it may not happen. So for it to actually happen, I'm delighted because, like I say, I think it was must have been start of June. I think I heard about Scotland being a possibility, and I was like, great. And I kept saying to Robert, I was like, Robert, we're going to Scotland, mate. We're going to Scotland, and I was like, let's play Rangers, we'll play Celtic, we'll play Glasgow City. It didn't quite work out in the respective other 2 teams, but listen, we're playing Rangers, pal. Up in the sunny Scotland, shall we say, even though it chucked it down there the other day when they played Chelsea. So yeah, like I say, it'd be good that just to get back. It's a £5 as well. I think there's a Barmy Army bus happening as well for those that want to jump on that. So yeah, happy, just excited now.
Yeah, I'm raging out. I can't get to Scotland. That's home turf. Yeah, I mean, I know they're doing it. So I think they're doing it like not advertising a back-to-back, are they? But it's kind of a back-to-back game for Rangers. The women playing at 5:00, and obviously the men are playing Europa League at 8:00 at Ibrox. So, yeah. But obviously we're playing at the training centre. But it'd be nice to play at Ibrox, to be fair. But we're not playing at Ibrox. We're playing at the training centre. Who are you looking forward to mostly seeing in a United shirt, though? Is it maybe a familiar old faces, or are you looking forward to seeing the more unfamiliar faces, the new signings as such?
Yeah, I think the ones that I don't know so much about. Robert says it's been pissing it down in Scotland. He's right. It will be. It definitely will be. Now we're going. Yeah, no, I think for me, I want to say, ones that I've seen before, but that's just boring, isn't it? So I think for me, the the likes of Ivana Fuso, owner. Trying to think who else we signed last year that we've not even seen. Fuso, owner, help me out.
Fuso, owner, Stanley Forth.
I've seen Stanley before, so yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Not in a United shirt, though, lad. No,
not in a United shirt. So I think, yeah, I suppose, you know, the new signings, yes, but I think particularly, like I say, the ones I haven't seen before. Yeah, Sophie Bagley as well. Obviously, that'll be good. Lessie, you know, Mannion as well. The whole lot, really. Just I think just to get back supporting, you know, they've not seen us in 18 months, I think maybe. Was it the Everton game in March 2020, start of March? Yes, John, there we go, Thor. So, yeah, I think, you know, just to get back and see the squad as a whole, and listen, they'll be buzzing, we'll be buzzing. I don't think a lot of us have seen each other either. That's travelling up. So, yeah, Robert says my favourite standing blue. He means Lizzie. My mate Lizzie.
I thought that's what he was getting at.
Scoring that ball past the Scousers. Yeah, no, hold Lizzie in high regard. But it'd be good as well because obviously Lizzie's there, isn't she? You know, Jane's there as well. So, a couple of ex-players there. But we'll see what happens. I know Chelsea's B team walloped them on Thursday. So, we'll just go and enjoy it, though. See where we end up.
Absolutely. Yeah, I am going, John. I certainly sent John a voice note on WhatsApp. Oh, by the way, I'm going, you know, too. Oh, yeah? Yeah, it's just that I might not be going down with a group. I might be travelling up on my own, depending if I get a night off work or not. If not, I'll be travelling up on my own, going for the game and then going straight back down, straight to work, you know, or a couple hours sleep, but things we do for United.
That's not what I heard. I heard you was going up on your own early to get into Pop World, lad.
Oh, bloody hell, we started on Pot World. Anyway, about the old faces as well, you know, we're caught up against, like you said, Lizzie and Jane Ross. Do you think they maybe got a point to prove to United going into this game? I know it's a friendly, but do you think these are going to, those two in particular are going to be absolutely revved up for it?
I mean, they might be. I think the thing is, I'd have said, yes, they do have a point to prove if Casey was still in charge. Because let's not forget, these are Casey's incomings and Casey's outgoings. So I think maybe in terms of like the club, possibly, and whichever directors or advisors or fancy people are turning up, I think, you know, I think the season when we let Lizzie go, for me, you know, she didn't get used at all. And I think at times when we were crying out for something different, she was that person that maybe could have given us something different from what we had. And we had a couple of injuries at the time as well. So, but it's one of them, you know, I think you move on, you get better. I mean, no disrespect to her, but we've got better wide players now, better midfield players. Those that classed as a forward, I'd still say we've got probably, you know, better forwards as well. So it's one of them. And Jane, for whatever reason, it didn't work out. I was quite surprised. I think, you know, she scored 10 season before she joined us, and that was in a crap West Ham team. So I was fully expecting, thinking, well, you know, if she can get 10 at West Ham, she'll get 10 at United, and she didn't. So that went a little bit wayward. But I genuinely believe that's the way we played, because she's one where she needs to be in the box and crosses coming to her. And I don't know if you remember the goal where Tobin Heath crossed the ball to her and she headed it in. That's the sort of type of player she is, and we just didn't play that way. And at times she was out on the right, or she'd end up deep. But it's one of them, like I say, you know, we move on, and yeah, it's just football, isn't it?
Sorry if I looked absolutely baffled. There's just this comment here. I cannot believe John Foster is comparing Kirsty Hansen to some has-been wrestler. Come on, John. How old are you, by the way, if you're still watching WWF? Come on, you're better than that.
He's older than you, Benny. I told you this the other day.
Oh, no, but he's better than that. Come on, John.
Sits in that hot tub, doesn't he, with the plasma outside in the gazebo with his big cigar.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oh, my days.
And Ali.
Yeah. Can't mention that on here. We might get told off. Anyway, no, maybe lose my train of thought there, John, by the way. Yeah. On Rangers, though, I think you may be a little bit more well versed on them than I am, because I'm going to Scooby Doo about these lot. But are they a decent team at all?
I mean, they're okay. Listen, I think last year they came third, which, to be fair, it was their first full. Well, I might be wrong on this, but I'm sure it was their first full season as a professional outfit, because I seem to remember them chucking a load of money at it. And I tell you, who used to manage them. Do you remember Gregory? I can't say his name. Gregory Vignal, was it? Used to be Portsmouth and I think Liverpool as well.
Yeah.
Fullback, French. He used to manage them, but he left. I think last season. So, but yeah, I think in terms of players, I'm trying to think. There was an ex-City player moved there the other day, Tessa Midag, Dutch international. She used to be not a bad player, I suppose. Yeah, trying to think who else. Zoe Ness. I'm sure she used to be at Durham. I was at Durham when we played them. She was the one that scored all the goals for him in that season when we had that lovely rivalry. Obviously, I've mentioned Lizzie and Jane. They've got their own Sam Kerr as well, which will be quite funny.
But someone that can't hit a barn door at 5 paces, or
no, I think this. No, lad, I think this one's better. From what I've seen of her, anyway, she's at Glasgow City. Sort of attacking midfielder, good player. So no, she can hit a barn door a bit better than the other Sam Kerr. So it'll, I'm sure she'll get some friendly banter about it. Probably something along the lines of she's a better Sam Kerr than the Chelsea one or something. But yeah, and I think they've got a fullback that used to be at Everton briefly, Emma Brownlee. But there's nobody in there really that I sit and think, oh God, do you know what I mean? It's kind of just I don't know, your standard team really. A few Scottish internationals, and yeah, that's Rangers, pal. But third, like I say, third's not bad in that league for your first sort of outfit as a pro team and getting everybody together. Yeah, what's to say? Rangers will be highly motivated to beat the quality side. Missing out on Champions League. Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I don't really pay huge amounts of attention. I did at one time to sort of Scottish League and sort of little bits here and there now, but yeah, I used to watch Hibs when they were decent. Back when they had the likes of Smithy and Jamie Lee Napier and all them lot.
Aye. Whatever happened to them, eh?
Hibs.
Yeah. Since I don't really
Everybody nicks all the best players, pal. That's what
that's it, yeah. What kind of reception do you think that Lizzie Arnott and Jane Ross will both get from United fans? On the whole, pretty positive?
Yeah, I'd have said so. I think the thing is, it's like I said, I think Lizzie for that Liverpool goal in a season one sort of work and things, there's not really any sort of anger or feeling of upset like there may be, say, for example, when City come to town and we all know exactly what's going to happen there with a certain player. But no, I think, like I came in, did a job in season one, scored our first ever goal, worked to socks off. I
think Matt might have frozen again. That's dodgy NTL internet that he's got.
No, I'm still here.
He's still there.
Yeah, I was saying, so I think, for what Lizzie brought in sort of season one, nobody can knock us. To be fair, I think both will get a good reception. Jane just didn't get a run of games together and wasn't the clinical striker we needed. And Lizzie was just unfortunate that by the time we were, getting towards WSL and we were WSL, she was probably like not maybe at that standard that we needed, like a sort of a Hansen sort of standard, a Leah standard, whoever else we had wide. But yeah, like Karen says, I wouldn't have thought it'd be any bad fit. There's no reason to be. I'm not from my point of view. Other people might say that, but I just, give them a clap when they walk on, wish them well, beat them, and then have a chat afterwards.
Do you reckon the Lizzie Arnott chat might get one more last airing?
To what? Lizzie? Oh, the chant.
Lizzie Arnott chat. The chant, yeah. Just for old time's sake.
I mean, it could do. I mean, the thing is, I don't know. I think there's 400 tickets available now. I don't know if that's just United fans or both teams. So I don't know what Rangers fans are like. Yeah. I don't know if they're, singing and crazy like us lot, or if they're quite quiet. But listen, we'll sing some. We'll sing for them if they won't sing. But I'm assuming, the men's fans are good enough. So I'm assuming the women's fans will be the same.
We're joined by Alan today, don't you, mate?
Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Ellen loves it.
Alan loves it, doesn't he? Absolutely loves it.
He loves it until he backs out of stuff and then changes his mind. But yeah,
yeah. Here's one for you then. How much are you looking forward to going to an actual football game where you can actually watch Manchester United women again? It's been a long, long time. It's like you said at the start of the show. How much are you looking forward to it? Are you nervous going back to a football game, or is it just something that are you just glad to get back to the norm?
No, I think glad to get back. I mean, listen, I've been back. Obviously, anyone that sort of tunes into our socials will know I've done, I think, 6 FC United games. I covered Leicester last year. So, I mean, if we're technically speaking, I've been back at games since sort of, trying to think when it was, end of Feb this year. I'm fortunate enough to be able, like I say, to cover games. So, and prior to that, I think I'm trying to think, September to start of December. So I only really missed last season sort of half of December, which was a winter break anyway, January and most of February. So in that respect, I've been quite fortunate. But I think, just getting back to watching us, I think I missed the Everton away game. So my last game was Reading away, start of February. Which, like I say, in terms of that, and obviously things are different now. But yeah, like I say, just getting back. Like I say, people have left, people have come in. What's he saying here now?
Mr. VIP.
I mentioned it. Hey, I'm going to shut up now because these two always kick off. Because he's in on it and he's here, but he piping up.
No.
So, get me in, sort me out.
Oh, of course, yeah. The other one
I've got a list.
Here's another one with 2 Leicester shirts. Or a Leicester shirt, I don't know.
Well, I can't comment on
that's
that,
just bad.
All I know is my phone on match days last season was fucking essays in it. Can I come? Can you get me in? It's like, Jesus, here's me and my minibus crew. And Robert's just Robert, lad. Can't do out with him. He's from West Midlands, land of Brum. So, yeah, it's one of them.
Yeah. Where's Mr. Anthony. Sunshine today? Anthony. Oh, he's probably out getting pissed somewhere. He's got his bets on.
Well, I was going to say he's not out here because it's grey and chucking it down as per. So he's definitely, he'll be watching something like Crawley versus Staines Town or something, knowing Anthony. He picks some 8th and 10th tier weird things to bet on. So
absolutely, yeah.
West Midlands.
No, the West Midlands massive kicking off, are they?
Do you know what? He doesn't know, does he? So quickly, short story. Robert didn't view Staffordshire as West Midlands. So we're not saying there's nothing wrong with it, John. We're just saying Robert's a bit lost in his own hometown, which is absolutely hilarious. He didn't realise he was a West Midlander. His
geography is not up to scratch by the sounds of it then.
I don't think his life's up to scratch, pal.
Yeah.
So anyway, to answer your question, what you asked me about half an hour ago, we will probably sing for Lizzie.
Yeah, well, listen, mate. It'd be good to get everyone back because I think we're taking quite a few down from what I've seen on WhatsApp or whatever. Quite a lot of the Barmy Army are going down, or the Manchester supporters, women's supporters, whatever the hell they're calling themselves these days. I can't keep up with all the name changes. Barmy Army for me always will be. A lot of them are going down, as you said. There's a buses there. Did you say? Yeah,
so they're doing a bus. I think, don't quote me, I'm sure it's an 18-seater. So anyone that's watching that wants to jump on there, and get yourselves to Scotland, then DM Nat, I suppose, or DM Barmy Army. So he's saying down, Benefit's geography is just as bad.
Mate, I was rubbish at school.
But if there is a bus, I'm pretty sure there's spaces. So like I say, give Natalie a shout because she's chief bus organizer and she'll sort it out.
Absolutely. And one last thing I was asked about Rangers is a quick score prediction on that one. That's all.
I'll go 4-1.
4-1 United.
Yeah, they score past Chelsea, so they'll probably score past us.
Yeah, and I'll end it on this. Does a pre-season match, no matter what the result is, does it really matter though? The end result, if we win, lose, draw, no. It's all about getting minutes in the legs.
Yeah, minutes in the legs. Obviously, trying out different things. Formations, trying out different players. I think it's good that we've had the devs involved, because I think that'll enable Mark to see, right, can we keep these? Are these good enough? Can they handle it? Are they going to be loaned out? So I think in his mind that'll be clearer for that. He'll probably have a good idea of sort of starting 11 for the Reading game. And yeah, like I said, I think just the plan B. We never sort of had a plan B under Casey. So I think for me, if we can get a plan B. And Mark can put something together, whether we need to switch a formation, it's perfect, isn't it? But, we went to Norway, didn't we, in 2019, got walloped 4-1.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, like you said, it's about getting minutes in, it's about getting fitness. We've still, obviously Fuso was only just involved today. Manion's been out for a while, so she's obviously played a couple of games now and got self-fitness. Leslie's still not back yet. We've got Jackie and Tooney to come back in as well. So it's just about rotating into it, like you said, get those minutes in, work on things, practice free kicks or whatever, any set pieces. Because I think practicing them in training is one thing, and, little moves that you come up with in combinations, but doing it in a game is completely different, like a competitive environment. And yeah, it's good for fitness, isn't it? Instead of doing like shuttle runs or, a game against sort of the other half of the squad or the devs, I think it's good just to get, like I say, some competitive minutes in there. And coming up against Rangers, so happy days. I don't think we've ever played them before. Well, we know we won't have done. So it was Glasgow City, wasn't it, last year in pre-season? So looking forward to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just a bit of a strange one, isn't it? Pre-season, and I think we mention this all the time. It's funny how we never seem to put any. We've done shows and shows and shows and put it, and it seems to harp back onto the same thing again. Why don't United ever put any games on where we could go and watch? And it's like, it makes me laugh. We all went to Norway. We absolutely love Norway, and we love travelling across to different places, far and wide, to watch United. But what I never get is, why do United cater for fans abroad more than they do their own fans in their own backyard to go and see the women's team play? Surely United should be looking at this and going, there's a chance here we get a few more fans through the gates, build on this fan base, build on this on the great fan base that we've already got. It's really strange to me the way it works. The men's team works so much differently. You've always got, yes, you go out pre-season, God knows where, but it's always, if it's not at least 1 year, every 2 to 3 years, United be playing somewhere local, first team, where people go, whether it's home or away, people go and watch. It baffles me, mate. It really baffles me, the women's game.
Well, put it this way, I was fortunate enough to go in season 1, which is behind closed doors. I did the 2 home games that we played. And I asked why it was sort of closed doors, because I thought, like what's happening here? And they said, the reason is Casey Stoney wants it behind closed doors. Right, okay, fair enough, can't argue that. Season 2, Casey Stoney wants it behind closed doors. Right, okay, fine. So obviously last year was COVID and nobody got to go. So now the Casey Stoney excuse, funnily enough, has gone. So now for me, there is no excuse. And I spoke to someone who's connected with somebody, or someone at the club, should I say. And I said, what's the deal in terms of the Liverpool game? And they said, they've put it at Carrington because they don't want people to go. So I'm like, well, why don't they want people to go? And they don't know. They just said, they know that fans can't go to Carrington because of COVID, and they didn't want anybody in. So it's like, well, hang on a sec. These are your fan base, 18 months of not going to a game and you can't be bothered to, like I say, open the cliff and go there, or use the pitch behind LSV, which, by the way, they did use on, a couple of previous pre-seasons. It was that athletics pitch, not inside the stadium. Last year was the first year inside the stadium against Glasgow and Villa. So, yeah, like I say, we did a show on this Tuesday with myself, Anthony and Gareth, and I just found it ridiculous, why you'd want to lock your own fan base out. Gareth made a good point the other day about getting an open training day. There's been 2 or 3 clubs where, they've done an open training day. They've, done it nice and cheap, and they've said to a few fans, right, come down, and if you're new to it, come and experience it. And from that, you get ticket sales and fans. Next generation of fans are going to be little kids, like your lad, for example, and other people's children. You want to be getting them on board. You don't want to be locking them out and saying, oh, well, you can't come because we don't want it to come in. Like, what sort of an excuse is that? Do you know what I mean? So I think for me, it's just poor, and I've commented on this a lot. And like I say, it's not just our club, but across the women's game as a whole, they need to start opening it up. And actually, we're finding the opposite, where, they're actually locking people out. And it's happening more and more, especially in the WSL, and championships now following suit. So, yeah, not something I like to see, really, quite poor. I think Anthony made a point they could have had it back-to-back at Old Trafford last week after or even before the Everton friendly, which, again, suppose they could have done. But, yeah, that's just typical of the club, isn't it? Like I say, they blame Casey. Now Casey's gone, they're panicking, thinking, God, who can we blame now? No doubt they'll probably blame Mark, but I very much doubt it's got anything to do with him. But it needs to change going forward, because there's no way you can get, like you said, extra revenue. Even if you just, £4, £5, got your refreshments as well. Obviously, you have to pay staff. That's a given. But, you're still making money. And I've noticed some clubs as well. I think Lyon are in a tournament in America with Barcelona and a couple of American clubs. Why can't we do that over here? Have United and get Rangers down here, for example. Whoever else, pick teams like that and do a mini tournament. There's no excuses. There's tons of ideas. The club just don't want to entertain it, pal. So I don't know. I'm as baffled as everybody else at that.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. Some sort of a competition, like, I think, is it Arsenal have the Audi Cup and West Ham have the Betway Trophy, whatever. Why can't we have something similar to the women's game? It may even make pre-season a little bit more interesting, because you're fighting for a trophy in the day, But I don't know. It's just, it's all right saying, oh, we'll stream it live on MUTV. Well, it can't be that secretive if you stream it live on MUTV. So why don't you let fans in?
Because they don't want us in. That's what I'm saying. But yeah,
it's just daft, mate.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry, mate.
No, I was just going to say, you're saying it's on MUTV, and again, this is a thing where they've not thought that through, because look how many people are cancelling it. If they had any idea what was going on with the fan base and how peed off people are, they've realised that actually, people don't bother with MUTV. So it's like, I mean, it was good. Listen, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful that they've streamed it and it's an improvement, but in terms of everything else, it's still a shambles. But no, carry on with what you were saying.
No, I was just saying, it's just, it's just the women's game seems so secretive, but yet they'll put it on a certain will put it on a YouTube channel or a Facebook page, streaming it live. We've got our MUTV and that streaming it live, apart from today, which, as I said at the top of the show, baffles me why you have it after the Leeds, you kick it off after the Leeds game. Why not show it live on MUTV instead of showing reruns of the United podcast with different players that people have seen umpteen times, that people can watch on demand, people can get on there on Deezer and all the apps that you can listen to through your headphones. It's daft, man. I don't get it with United. If you're not going to show it on MUTV, why not show it on the YouTube channel? You've got a YouTube channel you hardly use. Why just stream it on there so people can watch it live? People want to know. People are trying to buzz off a Manchester United women's Twitter feed that we all know is notoriously slow as anyway. To get live game updates, to get scores, to get scorers and that. But it's just ridiculous, man. What's John on about now? Karen, you're going to be our translator. Oh, for God's sake, it's Scotland. Yeah.
No, I think you're right. Even the YouTube would have been good, because it would have been better for those that are internationally trying to watch it and maybe don't have MUTV or won't pay for it or whichever. But I don't know. Like you're saying we'll broadcast it, and they did, but like you said, they didn't want fans in. It's like, what? Do you know what I mean? Why? Why can't you just sort something out? Especially after 18 months, you'd have thought the club would be absolutely buzzing to have us back. I genuinely don't think they care. Genuinely not bothered. Yeah, sad state of affairs. But like I say, it's something that's now popular across the board and should never even be a thing. You mentioned about the men's doing tours every year, and people come in. Obviously, this year they've done a few at Old Trafford, brilliant, and people have gone in. Yeah, just baffling. I can't understand the logic. It's even like that game in Norway. We all went out to Norway, and then when we were there, they say, "Oh, we've got another game in 3 days. You're coming." It's like, well, no, put it out earlier, because it's like this. So there's been a lot of criticism at this coming out quite late, and people sort of can't rearrange work within, say, 6 days or 7 days notice, and it needs to be better planned. It does seem that pre-season just ends up a shambles every year. Like I say, in Norway, I would have certainly stayed on 100%, but I didn't realise there was a second game. And then by the time you booked your plane in your hotel and you're trying to scramble about to change it, it's not doable. And this was the other end of Norway that we had to get to. Obviously, you and Nat went, but do you know what I mean? That some of us that would have liked to stay on, that could have just booked the whole week or two out there rather than 5-6 days, then would have been a lot better. But you just needs planning. Just plan it. Tell people in advance, these are the plans. This is what we're going to do. This is what you can come in. This is what you can't come in. Simple. It's not asking much, is it?
No, absolutely not. I don't know, mate. It seems that we spin on the same subject sometimes all the time, because it always keeps coming back full circle.
To be fair, we've not spoke about pre-season, I don't think, or not properly in terms of
not properly. But I'm just talking about like the overall attendance, why we can't attend, MUT, why if it's so secret, why you put MUTV, and why they always want it behind closed doors. What is it that puts you off having fans there?
But the thing is,
just something that I would love to know, just to go to someone that's high up at United in the women on the women's side and say, listen, even if it was the gaffer himself, I'd be like, listen, what is the main issue we're not having at the very least one of your games live in front of fans? Why can't we have like adults for a £5, kids for free?
The thing is, I don't think it will be the gaffer's fault. Like I say,
no, of course not. No, but
this will have been planned prior to his arrival. But the thing that annoys me is, like you were saying, why can't somebody come out and say, look, we can't have this and we can't have that, and this doesn't happen, and we don't like this put out there or whatever. That's fine, but do you know what I mean? It's like we've not got trialists. We're having to find out via other people, and it's like, well, there's only so many questions I can go and sort of ask and say, can your such a body go and ask these and find out here? And it's difficult, and that so many things change as well. The organisation, as we know, is just bad shambles. But it's like you say, if somebody come out and said, right, listen, this is the deal, right? We played Liverpool. Liverpool didn't want fans, or Liverpool had trialists, therefore we couldn't let you in. Fine, whatever. Villa this or United that, whatever. That would have. Do you know what I mean? People can accept it if you give us reasons, but the fact that you turn around to people and saying, actually, we don't want fans in. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just poor. I was shocked, and I wasn't, because I knew full well that when Casey had gone, Casey couldn't be blamed. And they just said, oh, we don't want fans in. We know they can't come in Carrington because it needs to stay COVID secure. We're playing at Carrington. Just bad. Shouldn't even be happening, but it's happened twice. So anyway, move on to John's comment. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, what I was going to get right after what you finished speaking. But do you guys think we're ready for Reading? Robert Rich replied in the comments and said he's ready, John. I don't know why he's got the shades on, because Reading's is going to be a night game at LSV, mate. So I don't think you'd be wearing your shades.
Me and Gareth
ready. Will LSV ready? Will LSV be ready? Here we go. Guys, Friday night under the lights, Bristol ready for a burger and a beer beforehand. Well ready. Are you ready, Matt?
Born ready, pal. I think Friday's actually a curry night at the Wren, or I might be wrong. That might be Thursday. It's one of them, anyway. So yeah, I'll be joining Gareth in the Wren. But no, I'm ready. Yeah, looking forward to it. Again, it's just getting back in it now. That's the thing. But in terms of the team being ready, I mean, listen, I'd seriously hope so. I'd be a little bit worried if we'd gone for a whole pre-season and we weren't ready. yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? You know, we've talked about the season. It's closer than ever now. We've got 3 weeks until that's there. We're first on Sky out of everyone, so that's great as well. Great advert for WSL. What's Gareth saying here? I will not what it means. I'll be ready for, but hey ho. Yeah. But no, yeah, like I said, I'd like to think, you know, fans are always ready. You know, you spend so long with not watching it, I'm sure it'll be electric atmosphere and fully behind the team. So yeah, it's just kind of countdown in it. Get Scotland out the way, and then we know it's like a couple of weeks left. So gets closer and closer, and then obviously we've got Brighton as well to get out the way, and then we're all good. So yeah, clock's ticking now, pal.
Absolutely, and the men are on an international football break then as well, so there's no excuse for people not to get themselves down to LSV. Even if you've never been before, come down, lend your support. We're in front of the Sky Sports cameras. They purposely picked Manchester United as their first game of the season as their first game as a whole in broadcast women's football. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they purposely fixed it, and I say that in the nicest terms.
Because they know that your Chelseas and your Arsenals maybe and your Cities are maybe a little bit more established than we are. You know, Chelsea might have the best squad in Europe, possibly, with the exception of Barcelona, but one of the best squads in Europe. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, it comes down to the viewing figures, they know that nobody will match Manchester United on opening night. That's why we picked. United have picked because everybody watches United. Doesn't matter if we're top or bottom of the league or wherever we may be. I know it's the start of the season, so we're not going to be top or bottom unless we win, of course. Then we go top provisionally for a few hours. Well, until the next games kick off anyway the following day. But you know, are you looking forward to it under Sky cameras? Then what are we expecting from Sky? Do you think it's going to be a massive hype?
I think there'll be, you know, a decent hype. Listen, I was never a fan of BT, and I'm sure that's not a secret. But I think, you know, Sky, from what I believe, they're really going to go for it. You know, they've got the presenters. They've got. I was listening to a podcast Emma Sanders was on the other day, and she was saying, you know, they've got all the stats from Opta. They've got the facts and the figures and things like that. You know, like I say, presenters are ready, and apparently, you know, there's a big build up beforehand, like it's on, say, an hour or two before kickoff. I think it was actually an hour and a half before kickoff. Big build up as well. Obviously, post match, you know, there's analysis and things like that. So it's something that, you know, is running pretty much similar to or the same as the men's game, which is great. So I do think Sky, in terms of growing the game, in terms of, you know, newbies learning players, and not just our players, but, you know, players from different clubs. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how, you know, that takes the game to another level. And for me, you know, brilliant. You know, like you said, we're first on. And it'd be good because obviously I think Karen Carney's been one of the main presenters, so it's actually somebody that knows what they're talking about. I just hope with Sky coming in, they bring their own commentators, or commentators are coming in that know what they're talking about.
Commentators.
Good. One that they're talking about, and two that can pronounce names, because the commentary has just been shambolic. And even
the FA player.
Yeah, just the waffling, like the overall, getting the names wrong is one thing, but just absolute waffle and nothing relevant is just it sends me west. It really does. It's like, come on, I could have done a better job. You know, it's not difficult, is it? And there's like people plucking results out of thin air. Oh, last week this happened. I'm like, no, it didn't. But we'll see. I'm like I say, happy for Sky. It's about time that, you know, it got more coverage and more promotion. It's also going on BBC, not just about Sky, BBC main channels as well, BBC One and BBC Two. So again,
who's the representative for BBC? Does anyone know yet? Because Alex Scott's apparently with BBC now. So I wonder if they've maybe
Sue Smith and Rachel Brown are BBC. There was a list going about the other day, actually, of BBC presenters. Farrah Williams was another one. So I think it's Farrah Williams, Sue Smith. Hang on. Farrah Williams, Sue Smith, Rich Brown, and Alex Scott. I think it'll be them four, BBC related. Hopefully they don't get that absolute joker Jonathan Pearce like he does for the England games, because he's another one, just waffles on. But I think, yeah, so like I say, main channel BBC. And yeah, that'll be good because it's about time that it was accessible, not just squirreled away on the red button. Obviously, I'd like to see an improved WSL show. I still think that half an hour for that is pretty poor, especially when the EFL.
Agreed.
I mean, yes, the EFL have got Championship League 1 and League 2 to go into, but they've still, for me, got to improve that WSL show because you get one featured game that runs for 10 minutes and they fly through the others, quickly chat about it, and it's done. I'd like to see a better show, maybe an hour with that, and really go and sort of promote the game and push it. But listen, that might happen. Obviously, it's one step at a time, isn't it? I can sit here all day and say, I want this, I want that. This needs to happen, that needs to happen. But it is a process, and obviously we've come so far now. I think back to when I first started watching, and the difference between then and now is massive. You wouldn't believe it. So yeah, it's just about time and getting there, and obviously people putting their hands in the pockets.
Yeah, absolutely.
The EFL show spend an hour in the Championship, League 1, League 2 get 30 seconds. Well, there we go then. Maybe it's not much better.
But it is on Quest, and no fucker watches Quest, so there you are. I think they're on about that AJ Bell Stadium. And then Robot Wars, legend. Yeah, you can stick with fucking Robot Wars. Get off my women's football.
Well, that's Craig Charles, not Jonathan Pearce.
Craig Charles presented it. Jonathan Pearce was the commentator. You recognise his motor mouth anywhere when it comes to Robot Wars. But on the BBC and the Sky thing, obviously BBC will heavily lean on Alex Scott, and Sky will heavily lean on Karen Carney. Who do you think's got the better one? Who do you think's got the better presenter out of the two? Because Alex Scott was with Sky Sports, let's not forget, last season.
Yeah.
And she was really highly thought of.
Yeah, to be fair, Alex Scott is very highly thought of by the BBC in general, and I think it's telling that she fronts Football Focus. She does other things. I think she's been on Question of Sport, and she's recently done most of the Olympics, for anyone that caught that as well. So, I mean, it's one of them. I don't massively like comparing pundits because, listen, Karen's a great pundit as well. And obviously, she was Sky last year and very good insight and knowledge. And I think, both of them tactically very good. They speak a lot of sense. I'd agree. Both good pundits, really. You can't, for me anyway, I wouldn't put one ahead of the other. I'd just say, let's enjoy two knowledgeable pundits that actually know what they're talking about and that speak sense and not utter waffle. Just saying here, Jockey says Alex taking it. Yeah, done Football Focus. No doubt she'll probably be maybe final score as well. Or she's definitely, obviously, she started Focus today, didn't she? She's occasionally done Match of the Day as well. So it's looking good for Alex. She's obviously finished playing and then very good playing career, and she's coming into her own for punditry and really making a big name for herself now. So, but it's good, the more ex-players they can get in the game, whether it's coaching or media, the better, Again, Siobhan Chamberlain went into that side after retiring, like say, BBC have appeared to have drafted Farrah Williams in again, fantastic. We mentioned Alex Scott and Karen Carney, so Rachel Brown, another one too. So anyone that's played the game, just because they can offer that good knowledge, whereas got somebody like a Jonathan Pearce coming in, or somebody that's maybe not watched the game. Because I think me and you had a chat, didn't we, on Michael Dawson? Yeah. And I said to you, hang on a sec, Michael Dawson, does he really have the knowledge of the women's game? But then I think you said, he wasn't. No,
he's part of Soccer Saturday and EFL and Premier League coverage.
So, I mean, that's fair enough, but you just want people that have, that knowledge and know-how, because it just makes a better show. The fans appreciate it more, and it's household names.
Who does work for Sky that I think would be pretty controversial? That I think will quite decent at the same time. Leanne Sanderson, she works with Sky, so for me, I'd like to see her on one of the WSL shows in the future. Because she doesn't mince her words. She says it how it is.
Well, I'm sure she's done one WSL highlight show, but like you said, I was just about to say that I don't think the BBC will like how straight talking she is. What they're like.
Sky, on the other hand, though, because they do like that. So we've got Roy Keane, for example, on the men's side.
Sky are more relaxed, and I just think you're right with Leanne And I'm convinced, I might be wrong, but I'm sure she's been on WSL in the last couple of years. But I do agree. You know, I think, yeah, very strict talking, very honest, not afraid to criticise if it needs saying. Yeah, just refreshing, I think would be the correct word. But it's down to the BBC, isn't it? But yeah, let's like I say, you know,
It doesn't have to be the BBC. I think she's contracted to Sky because she does a lot of things with Sky Sports News, and she's been on Soccer Saturday before as well. So it's very surprised. It was just a little bit surprised that her name wasn't involved in that WSL bit when they sort of announced the presenters and the commentators and. But I suppose that doesn't mean that she can't make an appearance somewhere down the line. I thought for somebody that's always. She's a talk sport as well, which a lot of them do sort of flirt over to talk sport. Laura Woods, for example, as well. And I'm sure Laura Woods would have been probably part of this WSL thing if she wasn't with DAZN as well for the boxing coverage. So she also does Sky and talk sport. She's a really busy lady. Do you know what? Hayley McQueen as well. If you're going to go old school, you know, her dad was an ex-United player. She's been around Sky Sports for a while, you know. She could always step in as well if need be as well. There's a vast amount. So long as they don't, as you said, bring people in like Jonathan Pearce, like Graham Souness or something. They don't want to have a clue.
Can you imagine?
The only person I would love to see is Roy Keane, just for the absolute brutality the guy's got. But, you know...
he wouldn't like it, would he? Can you imagine when they all come over afterwards if they've lost? And he'd be fuming. I just link back to when Villa men celebrated staying up. And it was just like, oh, what are you doing? You've not even won a trophy. And he was proper kicking. It was just hilarious. But can you imagine? It was like when I said to you the other week, went to FC and it was a double header. And the team they played, you know, FC won 9-0. And the team they played afterwards, they do like a little chant and dance with the fans. Can you imagine after losing 9-0? Roy Keane rocking up and seeing them all cheering and dancing and smiling and partying. The guy would hit the roof, but it would be funny. It really would be funny.
Jockey to Roy and Liam would be quite good, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine Mickey Richards would probably be in tow in there as well, just for the light-hearted, because he just laughs at anything Roy Keane says, basically. Yeah.
No, it would be good, but there's plenty of options. Like I say, you know, Gabby Logan's BBC, and again,
Gabby Logan's good. I like Gabby Logan. I remember she used to do the Premiership and all sorts on ITV back in the day. She, again from sporting family, Gabby Yoroff, Terry Yoroff, dad, footballer. I'm sure he's a footballer.
Yeah, ex-Leeds.
She married to a rugby guy, didn't she? So that's what I mean. She's really good as well. Siobhan Chamberlain, that's a good one as well. Do you think Siobhan Chamberlain may have even... she's been with BBC as well, hasn't she? You know, on
MUTV.
Yeah, and MUT. Obviously, I think she'll be working for MUTV a lot more, but she's also been on the BBC and the WSL show and everything. So,
yeah,
you'll probably see Siobhan Chamberlain even be on the BBC a few times as well. I just hope they keep it for players and ex-professionals that know the women's game, or ex-managers that know, coaches that know the women's game. I don't want Jermaine Genius coming in. That's another guy that creeps up too much. He talks out his ass. He ain't got a clue. Jamie Redknapp, no thank you.
Could be worse. Could get Loro in.
At the moment. That's all he ever used to say, at the moment. Yeah, Loro. Alan Hansen defending was diabolical. Came out of retirement. No. Listen, I'm expecting big things from Sky and BBC though this season in terms of coverage, and I hope they step it up. I think we'll see Casey on Sky. I don't know now. She's going to go across to the States.
Holiday at the minute, according to her Instagram. So I don't know.
You never know. She might pop up every now and then.
There's options, but yeah, she might do. Obviously, when they're in a different period of playing and they're off season, who knows? She probably will come back and do a bit. Obviously, she did a bit for the Olympics for BBC. But there's options. But I think there'll be a really big build-up from Sky. And I think you'll probably see pre-match as well. They'll probably hype it. They might video fans arriving or something, or interview one or two people beforehand outside the ground. So who knows? But I do think it will be done properly, finally. So I'm just glad they've sacked off BT because it was just woeful. Couldn't stand it.
To be fair, mate, anything's better than the FA player because they're shocking and their commentary is shocking.
The thing is, if you keep it on mute, pal, it's not too bad. Like I can, if it works, obviously, because it keeps freezing.
Oh, always freezing for me. Always freezes for me.
I was grateful for that when it was locked down because obviously there's not many ways of catching up on stuff, was there?
Absolutely. On the FA player, for the people that might not know, and I'm kind of in the dark as well, is that still going for the games that BBC and Sky are not showing?
Yeah, so but the same as last year. So obviously last year it didn't show I think it did show the BBC games because obviously everybody gets that. But
Right.
It didn't show the BT games. So I think this year it won't show Sky, but it will show BBC. So there'll obviously be the option to watch it on your telly, which I'd recommend, or listen to some absolute woeful commentary on the FA player. But listen, it's still, I think because obviously there'll only be BBC One, BBC Two, Sky, potentially that's only three matches, 6 teams. You've still got the other teams.
Yeah.
So obviously for your likes of, I don't know, West Ham, let's say West Ham and Spurs, for example, probably be on the FA player most weeks. And then I believe there's still going to be only one championship. Well, there you go. Yeah, audio only. So it's just replacing what BT was. You could have the commentary, but you couldn't watch it. But yeah, and then one championship game on the FA player, which again is a little bit poor for me. That was the case last year, and they've not changed it. And I just think again that's pretty ridiculous. You know, it needs now the 6 fully pro teams in that championship. For me, that needs more coverage and better coverage.
Could that come though? Say for example, the WSL. In the next couple of years, it takes really well with Sky. Could Sky maybe then? There's so many different channels that Sky have. Sky could maybe, I don't know, for example, launch a Sky Women's Football channel where they can have live WSL and live Championship games, or maybe show a bit more of the Championship. Maybe a bit like they do now with. You've got your Sky Sports Championship, whatever it's called, and you've got your Sky Sports Premier League and Sky Sports main event and all this. There's 3 or 4 different channels that show different types of games. So
yeah, I think for that to happen, the championship for me personally would need to be fully pro. Right. Because at the minute, I don't feel for me that those clubs get enough sort of attention. So they're not big enough in terms of fan base and things. I mean, again, shouldn't compare, but you look at the men's championship. And you look at some of the teams in there, you know, the likes of your Bournemouths, your Fulhams, for example. You know, it's always I don't know. They're well supported, aren't they? And the championship as a whole is quite competitive in the men's side, and it's well watched. Now, obviously, here, you know, half of it's still semi-pro. So I think until we see that growing and everyone becoming pro, then we may start to see, you know, bigger sort of broadcasting deals, you know, filtering down to the championship. But listen, I'm with you. I'd love nothing more than say, right, WSL here, championship there. But obviously it's got to be cost effective for Sky, hasn't it? Because if they're not making any money off it, they're not going to bother and they're not going to run it at a loss. So it just needs that audience. It's quite difficult, really. But I think for me, just one step at a time, let's get the WSL sort of, WSL sort of name out there and the teams and the players first and build the profiles of the club and the players. And then who knows, maybe come 3, 4, 5 years time, we might have a fully pro championship. And, you know, they might extend that. So actually, we'll show 1 game this week and 1 game on the FA play. You know, we might say, let's have, I don't know, Liverpool v Bristol on Sky and somebody else on the FA player. I mean, listen, that's, you know, like I said, that's a conversation for a few years' time. But for me, it needs to be fully pro first before there's any chance of that getting a TV deal. Because let's not forget, some of these clubs are only getting 100, 200 fans in, you know, and it's not going to look good on telly, is it? So I think, you know, there's ways, and I think that the way they could do is maybe what they should have done was tested it on Red Button. You know, not every game. Yeah. But maybe, like I say, for your bigger games, you know, they've picked one big game for the championship opening weekend. I can't think of that, isn't off the top of my head. You know, why couldn't the next biggest game, the second biggest game, be on the BBC Red Button? Now that you've got the WSL on the main channels, you know, put them on there and then get them on FA player as well.
Or at least the BBC website, or at least the website would have streamed a lot of stuff as well.
Either way, I think the thing is you've got to put it out there for me. You've got to put something so people know. Because it's like the pre-season. Again, you know, if it's closed off, people don't know. If you put these championship games out there, people will become aware and then they'll know. And then they can, make their own mind up, or I'll tune in. No, I'm not bother. Need YouTube or Twitch. Yeah, again, something I'd mentioned about a year ago. YouTube, big fan of doing that. It's been done. It's possible. God knows why we don't do it, but yeah, why not? Like I say, just visibility first, and then you can work out from that. Can we actually get a TV deal out of it, and is it doable? But certainly Facebook, YouTube, things like that, more than possible to get stuff on there. It's just down to clubs and the FA and all logistics of it, really.
DAZN or Dazan, how you pronounce the bloody thing? They're the ones to watch out for. They're the dark horses. I swear to God, they will probably muscle their way in the English Premier League sooner rather than later, because they've got the money on their back and all. So with BT seem to be struggling a little bit financially, I wonder if they will be the next ones to sort of start sniffing around.
Do you think they'd keep that though, £2 a month? Would they do it for that much, do you think?
I don't know, really. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm surprised, because I was looking to release
Premier League, though, isn't it? They know people have probably paid top money for that.
They released some games the other day, some fixtures, and I think there's about 10 in a month. I'm sure they were American ones. It was something Robert sent me, and I was like, okay. And we figured out, like, even if you only watch half of them, £2, you've more, even one game, you've more than got your money's worth.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, who knows? But listen, the potential is endless. I've always talked about this and sort of said how I feel and what I'd like to see. But again, I realise that it is a process. It's taken us, 7, 8, 9 years to get it to what we've got now. And even now, people are still, it's not this ain't good, this ain't perfect, this is that. You think, God, you should have seen it back in the day. It was just, I think there's like one journalist, and that was Rich Laverty, maybe two. And that was it. And stuff was very, 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 very quiet on just everything. There's nothing, not even podcasts like this, pal. There was absolutely zero. So it's come a long way in sort of, like I say, 7, 8 years.
Absolutely. Right, I think we'll wrap it up there, pal. I'll let you give you a little end of speech, things about what's coming up on the show in the next coming days, what to expect.
Thanks, pal. Monday, I believe John wants to do a match reaction. That will be interesting. Off 3-minute highlights, but hey ho, we'll roll with it. Yeah, Monday match reaction. Tuesday my WFC show. Wednesday Natalie with her show. Thursday John and Nat, their joint Thursday show. Obviously Friday fans forum. Me and you next Saturday. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to backtrack, because Thursday I don't know what we're going to do. Whether we're going to pre-record something or whether we might potentially be able to do something after the Rangers game. We'll have to see about that. Hoping John will pop up in the comments, but he's Thursday. The schedule will be out tomorrow.
Also, can I just say, keep it locked on our All for United WSC Twitter page as well, and the Instagram page, the brand new Instagram page. I'm sure we'll be posting long there. I'm sure we'll be posting pictures and little video clips as well onto our Instagram and Twitter feed for you all to all enjoy.
Well, John just said we're going live in Scotland, so there we go. Perfect. But I do know that, obviously, like you said, we've just launched an Instagram. I'm going to tweet that out tomorrow and sort of give it a bit of a promo. But yeah, there'll be videos on that. There'll be obviously the thumbnails advertising these. There'll be videos of fans' thoughts, sort of. Maybe even videos on the way up there. Who knows? Because we've got 4 hours to kill. So as well as a bit of music, we could probably get some video content, get people's thoughts. And John says also on Monday, return of fans. So
there you go.
Pretty much that we talked about, getting that excitement going for that Scotland game and that Reading game and all the other games, first away game as well. It's back and it's good.
Absolutely wonderful, my friend. And on that note, I think I shall end it there. Thank you for everybody who's joined us live and has joined us in the comments. What's Jockey saying there before we go? Scott's on the score sheet today. Good to see Kirsty and Martha ready. Yes, Kirsty Answer's on fire, buddy. That's all I'm going to say. And on that bombshell, I don't know why I've just pressed that will do. Sorry. Just, I need to get a mouse to this bloody laptop. I keep saying that I will. And on that bombshell, I will end it there. Thank you for everybody that's joining us live. Thank you for everybody in the comments. My thanks to Matt once again. And we shall see you in the next one. Take care.
See you later.